What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our Pac-12 football channel. We've previewed the 2020 schedule for the Oregon Ducks. Now we're going to give you a projected record based off of that schedule. And I want to be clear here, this is not a prediction from us. This is just a projection based on the odds to win each game. It's just a formula that we have put in place to kind of give you an idea of what their record could be. And here is that formula. Games that I think will be 20-plus point spreads. Oregon should win easily, 99% games. Those will be in green. 80% games are games that Oregon should win, double-digit favorites. Not guaranteed wins, but of course nothing's guaranteed. But these are games that they should win. 60% games that they're going to be about a touchdown favorite in, 6, 7, 8 points, something like that. Games that they're the clear favorite. And then your 50-50 games are games where the spread, I think, will be 3 or 4 points or less. Games that I could just see going either way. And we have no green games for Oregon because their schedule's decent in the non-conference, but we have a bunch of 80% games. North Dakota State, Hawaii, Colorado, Stanford, Arizona, Washington State, and Oregon State. I feel pretty confident that Oregon will win all of these games. I think they will be double-digit favorites in all these games. I know North Dakota State is a powerhouse FCS program. I know what they've done, but they've never played a top 10 FBS team before. I know that you go back and look at some of the Big 12 teams that they beat a few years ago. Those are close games. I think Oregon gets by them, and I think the rest of these games are games that Oregon should win. And then we go to the 60% games: Washington, Cal, USC, Arizona State. If I was just looking at the teams, I'd probably put Arizona State more in the 80% range because it's a home game. But you got to go back just to last season to remember when Arizona State did upset Oregon. So we're going to put that game there. USC, I think, is going to be pretty good this year. Very good offensively. Washington is kind of tough to figure out. Maybe they will be good. Maybe they won't. Really, it's hard to say right now. And then Cal, I think, is going to maybe surprise some people this year. One of the top teams in the Pac-12, and nobody's really talking about them. Plus the games on the road. That is a potential trap game, I think, for Oregon right there against Cal. So these are games they're favored in. How about the games they're underdogs in? I don't have them as an underdog, at least a big underdog in any game. The game that's left here is Ohio State. To me, that's a 50-50 game. I think Ohio State will be favored in this one. I think they will be a field goal favorite or so. I would probably favor Ohio State, but it's at home for Oregon. It's early in the year. They're going to have a loaded defense. I think they'll have a shot in this game. I really do. And because of that, I think this is a 50-50 game. If it was on the road, I'd probably put this in the 40% range for Oregon. But playing at home, I mean, again, they're going to have a shot in this game. And you look at the schedule, they're favorites in every single game but one. And if they lose that one game, they still will have a shot to make the playoff if they're able to win the Pac-12 championship. No guarantee that they'll get in, but they'll have a really good shot. So this is a schedule that sets up really well for Oregon. I do project them to be favorites, again, in every single game, except for that Ohio State game. And if they had an experienced quarterback, they might even be favored in that game. But I think Ohio State, again, will be favored by about a field goal or so. So how does it come out? When you average all this out, we count the 80%, the 99% games as wins, and then we average the rest of the games out. The projected record for Oregon, 10-2. So we're really just looking at Ohio State, Washington, Cal, USC, and Arizona State. Yes, they'll be favored in those 4 games that are in purple, but when you have that many games, odds are you're going to lose 1 or maybe even 2 of those games. You throw Ohio State in there, and that does give them 2 losses. So projection for Oregon is 10-2. If all the favorites win every game, it's more like 11-1. But we all know in college football, it doesn't always work out that way. Upsets happen all the time. Just look at last year. Again, if there was a game where Oregon was going to trip up, I think it might be that game on the road at Cal. And then, of course, Ohio State going to be a big test. So 10-2 is the projection here for Oregon. Same as last year. Can they do a little bit better than that? We will find out. This team, though, clearly the favorite in the Pac-12 conference heading into 2020.